from Liverpool with FC Bayern München. But let's start with the beginning. So let's look back to the weekend. And before that, even, if you saw my last video, I made a prediction there that Düsseldorf would win over Stuttgart on Sunday last weekend, and so it happened. This was based on manager Funkel and his transits, and I don't want to get into detail here. You can watch the last video once again if you want to see. Anyway, the result was 3-0 and it's quite impressive. So yeah, let's start with Friday, and on Friday night it was Augsburg and Bayern München again already playing, and the match was not so clear as one may have expected or so. And this was a chart, and well, the main feature here is Chiron right on the angle here on the descendant, and you see Chiron is one of the Ken towers. Here I have a picture here for this attractive young man. They must have been looked something like this, half animal, half human. And there's a story about it. If you don't know it, the myth it translates to football that Chiron is strongly connected to penalties and red cards and other painful mishaps, because painfulness is one point in the story around Chiron. So in football, in the match, all the time, if you think, oh no, and it really hurts, like the whistle for the penalty or similar, this is often connected with Chiron in the event chart or some other way as well. And this has been seen rather often. So some strange thing or some penalty or some special event could have been expected or was sort of likely and in the air. And in fact, the goal or the match saw the earliest own goal of Bundesliga history. And after 13 seconds it was when Goretzka from Bayern München scored an own goal, and as Bayern, they're all hunting for every record by their profession, but sure they could have done without holding this record now. Anyway, so that was quite remarkable, and there will be some more Chiron in this later on. Yeah, and it's a crazy story because I'm following this Chiron thing for quite a while, and it's a big thing. Could talk about this much longer. Anyway, there was another thing in this match which was rather simple and still also pretty impressive, because, well, Bayern scored a own goal, but in the end it was 3-2 for Bayern München, and the decisive goal actually was scored by Alaba, and that was the guy I had picked beforehand to score, and he's not the guy who scores every day, and his odds were 8-1 in fact for a goal. But still, he scored the decisive goal, the 3-2. And here's why. You see his sun is on 3-7 Cancer from the moon chart. And now check out where the moon was when the match started. The moon was actually on 3-14 Cancer, so it was spot on his sun, and well, Mars maybe in play as well. So he was hot for some highlight, and so it turned out in the end. So quite certainly remarkable. And to follow this line, I have some more scorers from this weekend, because it was on Saturday. It was a guy from Hoffenheim, and I have thought he may score, and I picked him in advance. And The name is Joel Linton from Brazil, some player for Hoffenheim, and he scored his goal after some minutes already, like early in the match. And see, now we're talking Saturday, the moon has moved further, and the match was in the afternoon. His Mars, you see here, is on 13 actually, Cancer, and the moon was pretty much exactly there once more. So he scored his goal with this. And to make it 3, this is an example from Saturday evening. That was Inter Milan, Sampdoria, and there was a guy called D'Ambrosio, and probably looks a bit like this man here too, I guess. He is from, I don't know, actually, maybe Italian, I suppose. Now check out, this was Sunday, 8 in the early evening, and see where this is his Venus, and see where his moon is, and remember these two. And now for the match chart, you see that the moon was on his Venus, and the sun in that evening was actually opposing his moon. And still, though we're talking about moon charts simply, but the moon, even for noon, often is pretty eloquent, so to say. So there's 3 examples for scorers who hit with the moon hitting their charts. It was Venus for him, for D'Ambrosio from Inter, and was Mars for Joelinton from Hoffenheim, and it was Alaba the night before with the sun connected with his moon. So that's a good story, I think. So now for a little interruption or interception. I should present this much bigger, but this is from tennis. There was a tournament in Doha, Qatar, and it was won by an outsider, by Elise Mertens. Well, she's always around, but she didn't win so much yet. Also pretty young. And for this tournament, she was 40-1 or something, I think, to win the tournament. And see her noon chart here. And this is for the semi-final, the night before the final. And the moon, Jupiter here, you see, is spot on the Mars in this apex. Mars-Jupiter is impressive. And she won that title and tournament, and she won against Halep in the final and against Kerber before. And it's the biggest win of her career, and doesn't that make sense with only looking at Jupiter transiting, hitting her central point in her birth chart, so to say. So that's pretty impressive, heavyweight stuff, I would say. So congratulations to Belgium, and maybe for an outlook for now the week we have now. There's the guy Fritz is an American guy, and he's playing somewhere in the USA, some beach, forgot the name actually, and check out his chart. He has his Mars Venus here around, and Jupiter is moving further, of course. It's on almost 21 now. So maybe he has go now. He's 15-1 to win this tournament, and see how it goes. I say he has good chance to get pretty far. Now for the highlight of this, tonight is the big match. It's Liverpool and Bayern München in Champions League, and well, I don't know who wins. Get this first. I want to look at 1 point only, or like we started with Chiron, and we started with Chiron and the Bayern München match, and we have a Chiron and the Bayern München match tonight once more. Because, see, this is the event chart for Liverpool when we play the match. And I hadn't seen that before. Another story, Chiron has changed sign this weekend too. Ignore this here now. It's on 0 Aries. And the lunar part, the part of fortune, it is exact to the minute on Chiron. And this is one variation for some Chiron event within this chart. match which I've seen very often or plenty of times. So my prediction for this match tonight would be that there is a penalty, or that there is a red card, or that there is some similar, well, unordinary, special, painful turn, twist, drama in the match. Most likely, well, one thing, of course, is red card or penalty or both. And it could, in fact, also it could happen pretty early. So because quite often things happen with things running over the axis here. So would be surprised if, like, after 10-15 minutes or so, when this happens, there would be something happening of this chapter. Now, yeah, and there's some other aspects to this, but in the end, I really don't know. Of course, also, remarkable thing is that the match is played at full moon, almost exact. It's just past, the moon is at 4. And also, the moon is running right into a tight trine with Mars. This also may argue for some action, simply spoken. Of course, there will be action, but maybe some painful stuff as well. And yeah, looking, of course, at the players maybe before, because like Mo Salah, he is not sure about the time actually. Maybe I made this time up. He may be a full moon guy, and not sure, so sure how true like the moon here is on this. Jupiter is coming and he's around full moon, so maybe he's putting some highlights tonight. And on the other side, of course, the hottest player by far that Bayern have now at the moment is this guy called Coman, Kingsley Coman. And interestingly, look, he has this tight opposition of Mars with Pluto. And the full moon tonight is head on, bang on, like square with this, making a big square. So maybe he's like the man of the match tonight. He's certainly hot and will be under fire. The managers, of course, Kovac. I could do this much longer here, but I think I'm running out of time. One thing for Kovac is that Jupiter, the big bringer of the big prize, the big cheering, is pretty much spot on his, like in the midst of his Mars Sun. This is arguing for some successful time, doesn't in general. So still, well, this is, I don't want to make it too complicated. So my prediction for tonight only would be that there is a penalty or a red card, or as I said. So yeah, have fun, watch out. I hope you find this interesting. Subscribe my channel, follow my videos, and I hope you find that exciting, and bye bye.